All right, so let's talk about decision making and generally a little bit longer term decision making. So this is in opposition to like quick gut decisions, which I'll include a link to that. But a lot of times, we spend our time making decisions. And it may be that you need to make it quickly, right? And we can quickly do that by avoiding some big issues, especially with these gut ones, which it's in the article, but just to cover the quick points here. Avoiding making decisions when you're tired. If you know that you're tired, you got a really bad night's sleep, or you've been up for 36 hours, like don't be making those quick, important, but gut decisions. If you can avoid making decisions in the heat of the moment for gut decisions, that might be tough. Or something where you need to do it quick. But if you can take yourself out, like if it's a meeting, say, hey, maybe I can delay this, right? So it doesn't become a quick decision. Usually people don't have issues with that. You can say, hey, I really want to think this over. I need some more information. I'll get back to you later. As always, this applies to both quick and long-term decisions, but make a list. Like, do not go with just one option, right? That's not a choice. You're just doing something. And then also try not to operate from like being fearful of something. So one way you can do this is to consider what the decisions will do for you, not what it will take away from you. Just try not to operate from that kind of area of fear. But let's talk more about the long term. Okay. So with this one to me is really interesting. And the reason I'm creating this video today is going through dissolving a business partnership. Okay. And so this is something that's interesting, and for multiple reasons. One of those is that everyone has some sort of ego, right? Even when we're, and we have been keeping it really civil. It's nice. There's no hard feelings. It's just not working out. So let's get this split apart and make it work for everybody. But we come at it, right? And I say we as in everybody has their different viewpoints. We can all look at the same maybe asset and we view it differently. Did we work on it ourselves? Did we feel like this other person didn't put as much time and effort into it? All these sort of things. And so it's really interesting to go through this, but also to have a process so you can go back and say, okay, I'm starting to think through this, like with my emotions. I need to take a step back, right? And that's, of course, one of the first things you want to do is getting an outside perspective. And making sure that you're thinking of this as this type of problem or decision, not just focused on this as the only thing. And by that, I mean thinking about this as dissolving partnerships. There's tons of research out there. There's tons of articles. Lots of people talk about this. And so backing off and saying that is the problem we're dealing with, not, my partners want to dissolve and I like this or don't like that, right? Another way you can do this, and you should definitely do this, is getting input from a trusted advisor with expertise in this area. Okay. And so you don't want to, if we're talking business partnerships, you may not want to go down and talk to, I don't know, somebody who's never dealt with this, right? It's pretty obvious, but find someone who has some sort of experience with this. And then also I would ask them, or be careful about this too, with considering them an expert in the sense that hopefully they've dealt with this, so they know more than you about this, but not asking them for maybe too much in the form of like extrapolate down the road or predictions. Just ask them for, what maybe worked for them, what's their advice, things like that. Okay. And then we touched on this, but considering multiple options at once. Okay, it may be fairly straightforward, which I'll circle back to. But let's say that you're not sure in this case how to do something, whether it's dissolving a partnership, whether it's putting together a partnership. Consider multiple options at once, and by that just meaning, you have several. Don't just go at it one after one, and under no circumstances should you have one option, right? Because that's not an option. That's just a path you're taking. Okay, you really want to just open your brain up to these different ideas. And one of the ways you can do that, if you're really stuck, you're like, well, I think this is it. Just consider what's the literal opposite. If we just did 180 degrees from what we're talking about. And a lot of times it might be ridiculous or it may not. It could just be you've never thought of it that way, but it helps pull your brain out of that rut of being like, okay, here's where we're going. Like, nope. Look at that over there. Like, oh, well, maybe there's all this other stuff that I hadn't thought about. All right, so really just widening things up. And last but not least, I like this, and with dissolving business partnerships, I think that this is a really important one, is trying to arrange the environment around you so that the default is the best options. And the classic example of this is to take some of your pay and to automatically, right, have it deposited into a retirement account so that you don't have to think about it. You don't have to see that money come into your account and then say, well, I guess I'll put some of it over here. Nope, it's done, right? So you're automatically doing the best thing. So like with dissolving a business partnership, there should be, right, when you form the business, some sort of clear expectation, or at least in writing of, okay, if someone wants out, here's kind of the, at least some sort of an idea of what that looks like, so that when and if it does happen, you don't have to go through, a bunch of hoops and back and forth. It's much more clear. Everyone has an expectation of what this should look like, and you can go from there. So, with me and that being on my mind, I've been really happy that I had this. It's been good to, there's still conversations. We've still got to talk through a lot of stuff, but then to have this sort of a process and to write it down has been very helpful for me. And then as well to go, and I'm setting a reminder for 6 months to review, hey, here's what I wrote down. Here's what I expected to have happen. Here's the options I considered. Here's the people I talked to. And then in 6 months to say, hey, what actually happened? Was this a big deal? Was there anything that happened that you didn't anticipate? Things like that, so that over time can start iterating and making better choices. So hopefully this will help you make good decisions. If you want to find out more about this, I will be publishing an article about longer-term decision-making at the Productivity Academy website. Of course, we've got the short-term decision or kind of gut decisions article. I'll link below. And then if you have any comments, questions about this, feel free to leave a comment on the video or head over to the website or the rest of the YouTube channel videos for anything else to do with this decision-making, productivity in general, time management, automation, all that sort of good stuff. So hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, leave me a note if you got any comments, questions about this, and I'll get back to you.